Hello and good day, everyone. I'm meteorologist Mark Molnar here for MeteoMark's Weather. It's great to have you on the channel here with me. We are watching a highlighted area off the southeast coast of the U.S. that could potentially develop over the next 7 to 10 days. One thing to note is the tremendous amount of tropical moisture that will be feeding up through North Carolina and the mid-Atlantic and all the way up into parts of New England over the next several days. And we'll take a look at the rest of your tropics. Yes, dust will become a major factor over the next week or two. However, the intertropical convergence zone seems to remain very robust, especially as we head towards July 18th through the 20th. Let's get into it. All right, so starting off with the GFS model, and I'll move it over momentarily to the European model. As we look at Friday, here is our area of concern off the southeast coast. There's going to be a surge of tropical moisture up and through the Carolinas here, especially North Carolina, Virginia, all the way up to eastern Pennsylvania. And eventually, as we head through Friday evening, Friday night, and Saturday morning, that surge all the way up into New England here is going to be pinwheeling around this area of high pressure, this big old Bermuda high out here, where there's going to be a stalled out frontal boundary, and there is our problem. So we'll continue to watch it here. I don't think this is going to develop into anything explosive in the short term, but it's something we'll have to watch over the next 7 to 10 days. And as you see towards the 16th here, look at this. We see a resurgence of it around South Florida here as we get some shower and thunderstorm action here. Look at this. By the 17th into the 18th, we see that surge of moisture all the way up into the Carolinas, again into the mid-Atlantic. So this is something we're going to be stuck with for quite some time. Here it is, the 20th, 21st, into the 22nd. Look at this. We're still dealing with it here off the southeast coast. So if we take a look at the rest of the tropics here on the GFS, you can see the intertropical convergence zone very active down here. A tropical wave moving through Trinidad, Tobago, Grenada here as we head through Friday into Saturday. One thing I want to make note on this model is it's really picking up nicely on the dust here, which could help preclude, tremendous explosive development out here, which is some good news. All right, so if we take a look at the European model, you can see the system showing up very readily here off the southeast coast. And let's just put this into motion. There it is, pushing the moisture towards the north as we get into Friday evening across North Carolina, Virginia. And this is going to continue to stream northward here towards parts of the Northeast. So the I-95 corridor, let me just zoom out there, is really going to be socked in with this system, with this first surge of moisture that goes all the way up to here into eastern New England, even parts of southeast Canada. So as we continue to go further out in time, you can see where the tropical connection, it comes all the way down in through Central America here. But we're going to continue to watch this through days 2 through 7, even beyond, I think. There's going to be a very persistent area of showers and thunderstorms that just continues. You can almost make out this tail end of the frontal boundary, too, that's going to be the focal point for all these showers and thunderstorms. And as we continue to go out through next week, here's the 15th, and then as we go through the 16th into the 17th, look at this. We keep getting explosions of showers and thunderstorms, very similar to what you saw on the GFS model. And as we continue to go out here in time, one thing you're going to note here is this big old Bermuda high does not move much. And look what's coming here. This is another tropical wave rounding the bend here towards the 17th. So is this going to energize our area off the southeast coast? We'll have to see as we go out here towards the 18th into the 19th. And you start to see we have more evidence that there's going to be a tremendous amount of tropical moisture here with some of these stalled out frontal boundaries and these tropical waves merging and conglomerating. Look at this by the 19th. Look at all this moisture. Even a tropical wave out here by Bermuda just bending around the high here. So yeah, and look at this off this, southeast part of your screen here. We're going to go over what this could potentially be as well. So let's just back this up. As we go through the 12th here, here's July 12th, a big system coming through the Lesser Antilles here, another big wave out here as well. As I said before, we will be battling the dust. That is some really good news. But the intertropical convergence zone is pretty far to the south of this dust. So if these systems remain pretty far to the south, they will pretty much evade the dust. But some of these will get into it as we head towards the 12th into the 13th. There it is, lifting across the northern Lesser Antilles. You can see a wave here across Central America as well. But these waves out here in the intertropical convergence zone, they're remaining very robust for this time of year. We have a big old wave right around Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico here, another wave. Here's one southeast of Trinidad, Tobago, and then south of the Cape Verde Islands. So we're going to continue to watch this as these storms continue westward here. And as you can see, as this high tries to build a little bit farther to the west, it will push some of these waves towards Jamaica and the Cayman Islands as we head towards the 14th. And as we continue out here in time, look at the intertropical convergence zone out here. It remains extremely active. So we need to keep very vigilant of this. I know most of you are already hurricane wary because of Beryl, and I understand that, but we definitely need to keep close watch on these tropical waves. Here they are just lining up. Here's one across Central America, and there's our area across the southeast. This is the 16th. And as we continue to go out here, look at this. Yeah, this is by the 17th. This one is looking a bit more potent. One coming right off the African coastline here and one approaching Trinidad and Tobago. And then we have another area of disturbed weather here just northeast of Puerto Rico by this point. And some showers streaming westward into Jamaica. And there we go. This is where we start to see a concerning trend here. This is by July 18th. Look at these waves just lining up off the southeast coast. There is our massive moisture surge. Southern parts of the Caribbean also dealing with a big wave down here. And look at this. Yeah, we could be looking at some sort of development. One of these waves actually heads to the northwest here. And we're going to be looking at a massive wave here. Another one out here south of the Cape Verde Islands. Massive moisture surge here across the western Caribbean. And look at the northern Gulf here and off the southeast coast. Things are becoming much more active as we get towards the end of July here. And there we go. Here's our last frame, July 21st. Look at these waves just lining up. This is crazy. This is a lot of action out here. So this is the one last part of the European model that goes really, really high end with some of these systems. Now, keep in mind, there will be dust out in this region. So we hope that it would do its work, but I gotta tell you, keep in mind, this is an abnormally active hurricane season. And if you made it this far, if you liked the video, please smash that like button. It really does help. Question or comment down below. I love to read your questions or comments. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? You'll be alerted to all my weather videos coming out. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks, everyone. Let's continue. So taking a look here, thanks to Tropical Tidbits for our mid-layer dry air analysis, our dust analysis, everything in between here. You can see where the dust is. Yeah, it's across much of the MDR. You see the intertropical convergence zone where the greens are here. This dust will help us, at least in the short term here. So for those of you that do not want another storm right after Beryl, this is the saving grace. There is some strong tropical waves, obviously. The one off the southeast coast, the one near Hispaniola. And look at this one out here trying to initialize. So the dust doesn't mean it's going to put a cap or a lid on all development, but it really will help. But one thing I have to make note here, this is Tuesday, July 16th. Look at this big old wave here just hanging out off the southeast coast. Another one near Trinidad, Tobago, and out by the Cape Verde Islands south of it. Look at a huge one coming off the African coast. So let's flip over to the European model. Look at all that dust. That is nice. That continues through the weekend here. And then we go all the way through Monday, July 15th here. Now, let's see if we can extrapolate this out a little further here. Yeah, so the European model with our southeast low here kind of brings it up towards the Carolinas, right around this big old Bermuda high here. So as we continue to go out here in time, it kind of gets caught in the westerlies, so to speak. Here's another big wave coming off the coast, another big one southeast of Trinidad, Tobago. There is all of our dust in the mid layers doing its job, doing its work here, helping to put a little bit of a lid on, especially through the Caribbean. Look at even to the Western Gulf here. That's some good news, places that got hit with Beryl. But look at this. Yeah, this looks a little ominous out here by the 21st of July. We'll have to keep an eye on these tropical waves. Sea surface temperature analysis here. Look at that. That is a tremendous amount of sea surface warmth here off the East Coast, even the Southeast coast here where our tropical Wave, tropical disturbances hanging out. Eastern Gulf is warming up. There you can see the path of Beryl, keeping it a little cooler in the short term here. And look at out here, the dust is doing its job out here by the Cape Verde Islands. But one thing to note, we're warming back up here into the MDR. So tropical downpours here in the Caribbean. What is going on? Central America, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands. You look pretty dry. This is great news for you because you got to recover from Beryl. Let's see. Hopefully it's a speedy recovery for most of you, if not all of you. That's what we can hope for at this point, and hopefully no more storms because that was quite a storm. Now, for Central America, this is where the bullseye is going to be from Nicaragua, Honduras, up to Belize. I think you'll see 90 to 125 millimeters. That's getting on the order of 3 to as much as 5 inches. Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, you're kind of in a rain shadow here, so not much rain. Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic, you'll get upwards of 45 to 90 millimeters, anywhere from about 1.5 to 3 inches. And the Eastern Caribbean here, look at that. Even the southeastern Bahamas near the Turks and Caicos, you're not getting much, although that'll fill in. So the Bahamas could be getting 40, 50, 60 millimeters here, you know, about 1 inch, 1.5 inches. But look at this. The tropical waves really start to kick in Thursday, July 18th. And look at this. We just push these tropical waves right through the Lesser Antilles here. We could rack up 70 to as much as 100 millimeters of rain, 2.5 to as much as 4 inches. So severe weather starts to kick in as we get into Saturday here across the northern plains. You can see that slight risk, damaging wind, large hail, isolated tornado possibility. So if we take a look at our future radar here, it is going to be stormy here off the southeast coast, obviously, with our good old tropical wave here. So let's look at this. Yeah, you can see what's going to be happening with this storm. Yeah, this storm's going to be camping out. It's kind of an elongated area of low pressure as we head overnight Thursday night into Friday morning. You can see most of the moisture will be conglomerated across the Bahamas and then right up the eastern side of it towards North Carolina and Virginia. This also outpaces all the way up into parts of the mid-Atlantic and even the Northeast, as far north as New York City and maybe as far north as Boston there. But there's 1 p.m. on the 12th, which is Friday. You can see what's going on here. North Carolina is the bullseye here for all of this heavy precipitation. You can see, look at this funneling just right up through the Chesapeake Bay region into southeastern Pennsylvania. We'll have these waves of showers and thunderstorms that move up through. This is 4 a.m., by the way, on Saturday morning. So it's making a not so great weather here in eastern Pennsylvania, the Hudson Valley, up and through parts of New England. And that's just going to continue as we head through 8 a.m., 9 a.m. There's 11 a.m. You can see these strung out showers and thunderstorms from the Outer Banks all the way up the coast here towards New Jersey and parts of southeastern New England, even all the way up here to New Brunswick in Maine. We'll see this moisture streaming northward here. So you can see what's going on. Back in through the Ohio Valley here, the eastern Great Lakes, interior Northeast, you're looking nice, you know, for this weekend, with the exception for maybe some scattered showers and thunderstorms later in the day here. And here we go, Joe Drehos from the Johnson City, New York area. Take a look at this. Strong to severe thunderstorms were moving across the area. The sun was coming out right behind this thunderstorm to the west. Look at that. And now look at that nice yellowish orangish hue as those heavy raindrops were falling across the area. Showers and thunderstorms. As I said, look at all that heavy rain coming down the street there. But there it is. The sun peering behind this storm, the strong to severe thunderstorm. You had a tornado outbreak across much of upstate New York into parts of Pennsylvania. Nice captures there, Joe. All right, so if we pick up where our HRRR model left off, you can see our big old tropical, wave here off the coast that's causing all the havoc from the weekend into early next week. Pinwheeling around that Bermuda high. Yeah, look at this. So as we get towards the 14th here, so essentially right after, the weekend, you're going to still have scattered showers and thunder showers here from the Ohio Valley into the Northeast over the weekend. Very low chance, but it's more like Monday into Tuesday, we have this storm system moving through, and some of these storms could pack a punch through the Ohio Valley, eastern Great Lakes into the Northeast for Tuesday. Look at that, the 15th, storms rolling through. Here across the southeast, we're also dealing with, this moisture that's just kind of hanging out even into the eastern Gulf of Mexico here. And then as we continue through the 17th into the 18th, look how stormy. Pretty much every day, we're going to have another frontal boundary move through here. So mid to late week from the 17th into the 18th next week, Wednesday into Thursday, we're going to be watching some of that thunderstorm action. Look at this down into parts of Texas as well. We could see some severe weather. And then as we continue in time, look at that heavy rain across the mid-Atlantic and just off the northeast coastline for the 18th into the 19th. Look at it just continue. It's nearly stationary into the 20th, into the 21st. It's just like a conveyor belt of moisture that just continues here from Texas, southern Texas, all the way up through the mid-Atlantic here. All right, so we're taking a look at our GFS run on precipitation here. Takes us through about next Wednesday anyway. Look at this. Yeah, a lot of this right along the coast is with it's a combination of the stalled out frontal boundary along with our tropical wave here coming up from the south. Yeah, North Carolina is going to be the big bullseye here, 4 to as much as 7 inches in some of these areas. Now, if we take a look at there it is through this weekend, the Ohio Valley. Look at that, into Sunday and Monday, and then into the Northeast, we could be looking at some additional rainfall here with some of these scattered thunderstorms, up to 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch, locally higher near 2 inches. So if we take a look at the European model here for rainfall, look at this. It actually propagates this up into New Jersey, southeastern Pennsylvania, parts of New England through this weekend, and then we see come early next week, we get some of these bouts of showers and thunderstorms from the Ohio Valley, the eastern Great Lakes. But one thing to note, we are going to be racking up rainfall totals here in North Carolina, southeastern Virginia, South Carolina, even the Gulf Coast area, 2 to 4 inches. But North Carolina, yeah, you could be getting anywhere from 5 to potentially as much as 10 inches of rain. All right, so for Canada weather, what is going on up here, Canada? Well, actually a whole lot of nothing, unless you're way up here into the northern part of the provinces. So this is some good news. It's going to eke out a very nice weekend across most of southern Canada here, especially southern Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. This is a high time for you. Look at this, into the 13th and the 14th. Summertime is when Canada really becomes alive here. Look at these showers and thunderstorms trying to push through eastern Ontario and Quebec by the 15th into the 16th here. So we get a couple frontal boundaries. Here's a couple areas of low pressure, and you can see their associated fronts. So watch out. You might have some showers and thunderstorms. Some of these may pack a punch with damaging wind or large hail. But here we go through the 17th, another low pressure moving through Quebec. Look at the area of clear conditions here across much of the western and central provinces of Canada as a massive area of high pressure builds in. We have another big low winding up across the Canadian Maritimes around July 18th, and that's going to continue to push up to the northeast. Behind it, an area of high pressure will build in, providing some nice conditions around the 20th into the 21st for southeast Canada and much of central and western Canada as well. So taking a look at Canada for your precipitation. So this takes us through the weekend here into early next week. You can see there's a lot up here into parts of Ontario and Quebec, but they're pretty far north here. A drying trend for areas right along the United States-Canadian border here. If you go further north, most of these areas will just get about 13 to 30 millimeters. On average, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. But way up here by Hudson Bay, these areas, yeah, you're pushing in excess of 90 to 125 millimeters. That's getting up towards 3 to 4 inches. So what's going on out here into the Western Pacific? Well, I don't really have too much to talk about, but let's just continue. There are a few areas that I'm a little concerned about as we head towards the middle of the month. The monsoon season's continuing up here in Japan, South Korea, all of Southeast Asia through China and even Vietnam here in Taiwan. But look at this. Here's the intertropical convergence zone coming right through the Philippines there. There's the Philippines. And watch what happens here as we go out in time. So here's the timestamp. This is July 15th. As we continue to go out here in time, you can see, yeah, there's an area of low pressure that tries to close off here near Vietnam into the South China Sea. So that's what we'll have to watch out. But look at out here towards the Marshall Islands. Look at these big tropical waves. We might actually have something brewing out here. So let's just continue to go out here in time. You can see some of these really start to consolidate here on our last frame, the 21st. So we'll have to watch the Philippines westward here. We might have something on our hands late July. I got plenty more weather for you in just a moment, but take a look at my affiliate. Do you want some awesome maps? Check this out.
I am proud to announce that I am now an affiliate with Trilogy Maps. TrilogyMaps.com, bringing you the most digital, customizable maps found nowhere else on the internet. These maps are simply stunning. It's an advanced layering system that makes these maps great for making forecast maps with ease or any other maps that you would like to display important information on. The resolution on these maps is simply amazing. From the detail of everything here in the States, and you can also create stunning, digital, professional layered maps from also across the entire world. And don't forget, in checkout, the discount code option, use my code, MeteoMark, hit apply, and you will get 20% off your order. So if you want the most professional, customizable, and affordable weather maps found nowhere else on the internet, look no further than TrilogyMaps.com. Link in the description down below along with your discount code.
So if we take a look at the heat here, this is just going to continue to be a major problem. Look at out west here, triple-digit heat up to Washington. The plains continue to build here, the southeast, and look at this, even some 90s creeping their way into the Ohio Valley. Come Saturday as well, we bring these upper 80s. Look at these 90-degree readings all the way into Ohio, into parts of Pennsylvania. These triple-digit heat continues to build as we get into Sunday. Look what's going on here. Even with this moisture here in the Carolinas, mid to upper 90s. The humidity is going to make it feel crazy out here. Look at this triple-digit heat building across the midsection of the country here. Still extremely hot out west, and look at that, 90s into the Ohio Valley, all the way into the northeast. Try to find a state that is less than 90 degrees. You won't find one here. As we head to Monday here, look at this. This heat just continues to build, 90s all the way to the U.S.-Canadian border. Out west, we're just continuing to bake out here into Tuesday as well. Look at some areas here in the Carolinas could be approaching 100 degrees all the way up here into the mid-Atlantic. And 90s just continuing. Look, we have a little area in the 70s up here in the upper Midwest, so enjoy it. You're the only people out here. And look at this. This kind of tries to spread a little bit to the east here as we get towards Wednesday the 17th. So you can definitely see there's a cold front approaching the Ohio Valley into the eastern Great Lakes. Extended outlook from hometown viewers, Binghamton, Scranton, Zipper, Susquehanna, River Valley, New York, and Pennsylvania. We are already warming it up back up on Friday. Almost the upper 80s, near 90 into Saturday. Unfortunately, we go right back into the 90s. There is a chance of showers and thunderstorms, maybe to cool it off, but don't count on it. Heat index values as high as 95 to 100, as well as Sunday. A similar repeat, lower 90s. Into Monday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms once again. Into Monday night and Tuesday, more hot, hazy, and humid with more showers and thunderstorm potential. As always, thank you for joining me for this edition of MeteoMark's Weather. Also, don't forget to join me on Facebook at MeteoMark, also Weather Northeastern, also Twitter at Weather Eastern. Don't forget it's MeteoMark.com, and don't forget, if you want to send me a coffee, there is a link, Super Thanks. You can smash that Super Thanks button or my PayPal link in the description down below. You can buy me a cup of coffee. Thanks, everyone.